Each and every one of us in this room has been dealt a hand of cards. We can't change that fact. But how we choose to play the hand is totally up to us. We have a choice to say, oh, poor me, and feel sorry, and carry the baggage of all of those pretty harsh and horrible things. Or instead, we can rise up and say, if I can overcome prejudice, economic hardship, or physical disability, then whatever else life throws at me, I shall overcome that too. It's about our attitude. We call today the present because we have the gift of life. We get to choose how we look at things. We get to choose whether we carry baggage or instead a treasure chest. And so we must not ask, what can we get, but how can we serve? How can we make a difference? This was the lessons I was raised upon. But I also came to realize that we have to ask certain questions of ourselves. And we have to emphatically say yes to all of these questions. And I kind of grew up learning that there were 3 questions. And 8 years ago, I added a 4th question. And you may have to remind me about the 4th question. But that first question was, whatever we do, is it right for ourselves? Each and every one of us in this room can justify that answer, including the drug dealers. So now we come to the second question. What I do, is it right for my family? And again, everybody here can justify our actions. The drug dealer can say, look at the nice house we live in, or the nice cars we drive, or the wonderful private schools, whatever. And most people in society stop at the second question. That third question is, what I do, is it right for my community? Now the drug dealer is in trouble. There's no way that person can say selling drugs to kids is the right answer. And today, as you know, we live in a global community. What happens here in Dallas has implications across Texas, across the United States, across our planet. When you do something, it is felt, the ripples, worldwide in several ways. Today, we live in an interconnected world. But we must ask powerful questions of ourselves and let it be our guiding lights. And later, I will tell you about the 4th question. I'm not sure if you can teach passion and enthusiasm. I think it's innate in people. And I think it is also contagious. It can be inspired by being around passionate and enthusiastic people. So as you're looking to your companies to grow your organizations, find people who are passionate for the intermodal world, who are passionate about shippers, who are passionate about who you are and what you do, because then you can teach them skills. And it's hard finding drivers today. The markets are changing. You've lost 3% of your drivers through the change of legislation. It's a tough job being on those highways. But there are people who this is their world. This is what they love. You could find the clones of those folks and give them the tools to be successful and to bring others along in that journey. So I knew, somehow, I am going to own a yacht. So I said to my school friends, one day, I'm going to have a boat. And what do you think they did? They laughed. They said, you'll never have a boat. Give up the dream. So instead of giving up the dream, I got myself a red jacket, a red sailing jacket, and I hung it where I could see it. And I said, one day, when I own a boat, I will wear this jacket as a symbol of that success. Till that day comes, each time somebody criticizes the dream, I will know what I'm sacrificing for. Do you have your version of a red jacket? Do you have some dream, some goal that you're willing to put your life on the line for? Are you willing to die for that dream? Find the dream. Because those who live life with enthusiasm. They live for the goals, they live for the dreams, and they overcome all the barriers. If you do something that you know is going to kill you, or possibly can kill you, is it not suicidal tendencies? But I looked at it from the other perspective. If I have a dream out there and I don't take any risks in the realization of that dream, I may grow old and wither, having lived a meaningless life. But if I pursue that dream and I take the risks that could kill me and I might die, well, I died trying. Or I might survive and live the dream. Which life would you choose? So I knew somehow I'm going to be a diver, but I have to mitigate my risk. We do not perish from the known. We perish more from the unknown. And I felt that if I could go to the world's best commercial diving school, obtain the best knowledge base on this industry, I can mitigate some of that risk. So once more, I returned to the libraries to find out where is that school. And that school was the other end of the planet. That school was in Los Angeles, California. Here I am, a kid in South Africa. So I said to my school friends, when we graduate, I am going to California to study commercial diving. And they laughed. They said, you're going nowhere. You are going to the factories. Give up the dream. You'll be an alcoholic like our fathers because you have crazy ideas. Give up the dream. Accept your fate. But my mother did not raise me to accept my fate. Education is the only thing that's going to get us to move from where we are right now to where we can be in the future. A lack of education will move us backwards. We heard earlier the previous economist talking about the importance of education. The United States is in trouble. We have spent the last 30 years trying to level the playing field so that Johnny doesn't feel inferior, when other countries are raising their education standards so that their Johnny who feels inferior better pull up his socks. It is only through knowledge can we change our lot. All those emerging countries out there, where some of your manufacturing is being done, where you are shipping some of your products to, they are emerging because of education. If we don't invest in our youth in this country, in 30 years' time, we can be irrelevant. You are parents. You are teachers. You are a part of our global community. It is our responsibilities to ensure that these kids become hungry to learn. One day, you and I will no longer be in a position to make decisions. We will be old. And there will be somebody who's going to make decisions on our behalf. If we don't like the outcome of those decisions, it is not because we failed ourselves. It is because we have failed this generation. This generation is not just your workers. They are not just your partners. They are also your consumers. There are multiple legs to our society, and they are a critical, important part of our society. Invest in that knowledge base as you've invested in yourselves. I now get to roam the tropical sandy beaches and the palm trees every single day. I left the Caribbean yesterday to fly here, and I'll be back on board my vessel in less than 18 hours. But I'm on my boat, and my granddaughter is on board for 5 months with us. And the first time, 8 years ago, when I held this little girl in my arms, I asked myself the fourth question. That first question is, what I do, is it right for myself? Yes. What I do, is it right for my family? Yes. What I do, is it right for my community? Yes. But what we do, is it right for the next generation? My granddaughter represents the next generation for all of us. We must make sure that our actions are positive, that we make decisions environmentally, we make decisions politically, that are going to have positive ramifications for future generations. Our politicians, if they thought about some of the challenges 20 years ago, we would not be dealing with them today. So we've got to hold people accountable for what they do. Each and every one of us are accountable for who we are and what we do. And we have a choice. We can go through life and say, poor me. Or we can embark upon the greatest journeys and say, wow, what an adventure. We have the choice of whether we carry treasure chests or we carry baggage. I have chosen to carry a treasure chest because I truly believe in life there are no barriers, there are only solutions. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.